Here is the strangest fact about the most precious substance on Earth. Gold is almost completely useless. You can't eat it, you can't burn it for warmth, it's too soft to make a decent weapon or tool. Hit something hard with a gold blade, and it bends like clay. It won't shelter you, feed you, heal you, or protect you from anything. For a species that spent 2 million years obsessed with one thing, survival, gold should have been one of the most worthless materials in the entire natural world. And yet, humans have killed for it, died for it, crossed oceans, toppled empires, enslaved nations, and torn continents apart for it. We store it in vaults guarded like fortresses. We put it on our fingers to say, "I love you," and around our necks to say, "I matter." Every culture on Earth, independently, arrived at the same conclusion. This soft, shiny, useless metal is the most valuable thing there is. So the real question was never just, when did humans discover gold? It's something far stranger. Why did a survival machine like the human animal fall completely, permanently, irrationally in love with a metal that does nothing? The answer is hidden in your brain right now, an instinct older than your species, and by the end of this, you'll understand exactly why you can't look away from something that shines. To understand our obsession with gold, you have to go back long before anyone ever saw it, to a time when your ancestors were dying, constantly, of one simple thing: thirst. For most of human history, finding water was a daily matter of life and death. And out on an open landscape, how do you spot water from a distance? It shines. Water catches the sun and glints, a bright, wavering flash against the dull browns and greens of the land. The ancestors who noticed that glimmer, who felt pulled toward shining surfaces, found water and survived. The ones who didn't died of thirst. Across hundreds of thousands of years, evolution wired a simple, powerful instinct deep into the human brain. Shiny is good. Shiny means water. Shiny means life. Move toward the shine. And here's the astonishing part. Scientists have actually tested this, and the instinct is still firing inside you right now. In a series of studies, researchers showed people glossy paper and matte paper. People consistently preferred the glossy. But then they did something clever. They made one group thirsty first, and the thirsty people preferred the shiny, glossy paper even more strongly. Our attraction to shiny things is literally, measurably linked to our ancient need for water. Even more telling, infants and very young children, when handed glossy objects, will try to lick them. They're not being cute, they're acting on a deep instinct that says, this shine might be something to drink. You are born with this. The pull toward shiny surfaces isn't taught, it's inherited, ancient, and universal, found in infants and in remote cultures with no connection to each other. And now look at gold. Gold doesn't just shine, it shines with a warm, water-like glow, and unlike almost everything else in nature, it never fades. It never rusts, never tarnishes, never dulls. It is the eternal glimmer that never dries up. When your ancestors first laid eyes on it, they weren't evaluating a precious metal. They were feeling a 2 million-year-old instinct scream. Shine, water, life, want. Gold didn't have to earn our love. It hijacked a desire that was already there, waiting, from before we were even human. So when did humans actually find it? And here's what makes gold special, even in how it was discovered. Almost every other metal, copper, iron, tin, is locked inside rock as dull ore. You have to know how to smelt it, to heat rock until metal bleeds out before you even know the metal exists. Gold is different. Gold occurs in nature as pure, gleaming metal, as nuggets and flakes sitting in riverbeds, washed out of the mountains, lying in the gravel, catching the sun. This means gold required no technology to discover, no smelting, no chemistry, no furnace. A human being tens of thousands of years ago could simply crouch by a river, see something shining in the shallows, and pick it up. Gold was probably one of the very first metals humans ever handled, precisely because it was lying right there, already shining, already pure, triggering that ancient instinct from the water's edge. We likely collected gold flecks and nuggets long before we had any idea what to do with them, simply because we couldn't resist the shine. The oldest worked gold we've ever found takes this to a breathtaking scale. On the shores of the Black Sea, in Varna, Bulgaria, archaeologists uncovered a burial site around 6,500 years old, the oldest gold treasure in the world. Hundreds of exquisite gold objects, bracelets, necklaces, ornaments. One grave alone, known as Grave 43, held over a kilogram of gold buried with a single man. And that grave tells us something profound. Because not everyone at Varna was buried with gold. Some graves overflowed with it, most had none at all. This wasn't just decoration. This was the first clear evidence in human history of something new and permanent entering our world. a society divided into those who had the shining metal and those who did not. The gold in that grave wasn't feeding anyone or protecting anyone. It was doing something else entirely. It was saying, this person was different. This person mattered more. And that changes everything about what gold actually was. Now we come to the twist that turns this whole story on its head. Because we started by asking why humans love a metal that's useless. But gold's uselessness isn't a flaw in the story. It's the entire point. Think about what makes a good status symbol. A way of showing everyone how powerful and important you are. It has to be rare, so not everyone can have it. It has to be visible, so everyone can see you have it. It has to last, so your status doesn't crumble away. And crucially, it has to be wasteful. If you wear something genuinely useful, you're just being practical. But if you wear something that does absolutely nothing, something that took enormous effort to obtain and serves no purpose at all except to be seen, you are sending an unmistakable signal. I am so wealthy, so powerful, so secure that I can afford to own something completely useless. I have resources to burn. Biologists call this costly signaling. It's the same reason a peacock grows an enormous, useless, cumbersome tail. A tail that serves no survival purpose and actually makes it easier for predators to catch him. The message is precisely because it's a handicap. I am so strong and healthy that I can survive even while dragging this ridiculous thing around. Gold is the human peacock's tail. Its total uselessness is what makes it the perfect signal. A soft metal you can't eat, can't fight with, can't do anything practical with, but that shines forever and is agonizingly hard to obtain, is the ideal way to broadcast wealth and power without saying a word. And this is why gold conquered the world. It combined two things no other substance could. First, that hardwired involuntary pull of the shine, the ancient water instinct that makes every human brain crave it before conscious thought even begins. And second, a set of physical properties, rare, permanent, useless, and beautiful, that made it the perfect tool for the oldest social game there is, showing others where you stand. Gold married our deepest biological instinct to our deepest social need. Nothing else on Earth did both. That's why it won. There's one more property of gold that sealed its hold on us, and it's almost poetic. Gold is nearly immortal. Almost everything else humans value decays. Iron rusts, silver tarnishes and blackens, bronze corrodes, food rots, cloth rots, wood rots, bodies rot. But gold does none of this. Gold is one of the least reactive substances in the natural world. It does not rust, does not tarnish, does not corrode, does not fade. A gold coin pulled from a 3,000-year-old shipwreck at the bottom of the sea comes up gleaming exactly as it did the day it was made. The gold in that 6,500-year-old grave at Varna shines today precisely as it shone when it was buried. Think about what that meant to ancient humans, living in a world where everything they loved died and decayed. Their crops died, their animals died, their bodies aged and failed. The people they loved were buried and turned to dust. And in the middle of all that impermanence was this one substance that never changed, never aged, never died. Gold became linked, in culture after culture, with the eternal, the divine, the immortal, with gods and kings and the afterlife. The Egyptians called it the flesh of the gods and buried their pharaohs in it, believing its permanence could carry them into eternity. In a world ruled by death and decay, gold was the one thing that seemed to defeat time itself. So gold gave humans three things at once, and no other substance came close. It triggered our deepest instinct, the shine of water and life. It solved our deepest social need, the signaling of status and power. And it answered our deepest fear, the terror of decay and death, by being the one beautiful thing that lasts forever. Shine, status, and immortality fused into a single soft, gleaming, useless metal. So when did ancient humans discover gold? Almost as soon as there were humans to discover it, because gold didn't wait to be dug from deep mines. It lay in the rivers, shining, pure, impossible to ignore, pulling at an instinct our ancestors had carried since before they were human. We were drawn to its glimmer the same way we were drawn to the shine of water, because deep in the brain, the two are the same signal. Shine means life. Move toward it. Want it. Gold hijacked a desire that already existed, and it never let go. And it held on to us because it did what nothing else could. It was useless, and that uselessness made it the perfect way to show the world you were powerful enough to own something that does nothing. It was rare and eternal, and that permanence made it a symbol of the immortality we all long for and never get. Gold isn't valuable because it's useful. It's valuable precisely because it isn't, because it shines like water, lasts like a god, and lets one human tell another, without a single word, I have more than I need. Every gold ring, every crown, every coin, every glittering thing humans have ever fought and died for traces back to the same place. An ancient brain on an ancient landscape, dying of thirst, learning that the shine on the horizon meant survival. We never outgrew that instinct. We just found a metal that triggers it forever and can never dry up. You are still that creature, drawn to the shine, and gold is still the eternal glimmer that promises life and never delivers water. So the next time something gold catches your eye and holds it for a second longer than it should, remember that you're not admiring a metal, you're feeling a 2 million-year-old thirst, still reaching, across all that time, for the shine that once meant life.